I think it's more than exciting. For me, it was very informative. And the great thing about it is there were people out there who's actually doing something, and they are moving ahead, and they look like they're succeeding too, and creating change, which was really nice. It's about looking forward in 2030. We all talked about what might happen, and then we talked to people who actually started doing something for good. No, I thought it was really exciting and very informative. We have to innovate, because we have a huge gap. We've had a gap that we have to cover up, because we've not been innovating. We've been stuck in some kind of a little hole for a long time. And so the Indian mind, the Indian culture, because it is so comfortable with chaos, is actually an innovative culture. Out of chaos, we build things. Now, we need to create institutions that when something like jugaad happens, that jugaad gets caught. That's what we don't have. What we don't have in institutions, now whether those are finance institutions, whether they're private equity institutions, whether they're banks, we don't want to fund anything that in the remotest of possibility might fail. And almost everybody wants to fund something that will give very quick returns. We have to get out of that. With institutions, we need institutions like Stanford that will, we need to look upon India long term. Finance in India, except for real estate, is constantly looking at short-term returns. So there are all these things to do, and therefore those particular things will cause a mindset of innovation, a mindset of creativity, and that's really important. We need to change our education system. We keep talking about India being a great country. I'm not a great believer. I think that the nation state is under threat. I think social media is doing away with geographies and political boundaries and then geographical boundaries, even cultural boundaries. I think we're coming into 2030 will come into one world. But within that one world, my aspiration is social justice. We are too feudal. Our society is feudal. We are still feudal in the way we look at people. When I was a kid, I used to cry every time a servant left the home. But if somebody told me that his kid could come to IIT and create $1 billion company, I would have just laughed. We don't do that anymore, but somehow our mindset is, those people are there, let them be there. We're here, let them be here. So I hope in 2030 to get rid of the feudal system, equal opportunity for all, equal education for all, equal social justice for all. And that in itself will create a wealthy society.